We are in the 21st century and we still talk about domestic violence against women. My guest today, I'm so honored to have you, Abeer, here, is one of those women who decided to fight, who decided not to give up, stand up for herself, defend herself, and start a new life. This is a very serious topic to talk about in our days. In the days that is empowered with women supposed to be empowered with technology, knowledge, education, yet we still have those cases coming into the doors of Sabil every single day. Abeer, thank you so much for being with me today. I'm gonna dig right into it, if you allow me. You were born in India, right?
That is correct.
Did you move right to US after, or?
I grew up in United Arab Emirates, and after I got married, I moved here, basically a new country, and he was basically the only family I
I know speaking about those subjects is going to be a little tough, so we're not going to talk about the struggle.
had. Right.
I can see the emotion right from the beginning. I'm going to give you a moment to you share with me what you think you want us to know.
So I'm Indian, and there's a lot in my community, in my culture, and even my religion that frowns upon marriages not working out. So that was always my deciding factor to actually stay in an abusive relationship. And the abuse is not just physical, it can be financial, it can be emotional. And I'd rather talk more about the emotional, because the one thing that Sabil did for me was make me realize that I'm worth something. And that is it's a very powerful emotion, and it is the groundwork for my success today. So by success means a lot of things to different people. For me, success is having a roof over my head. Success is having a 9-to-5 job. And success is having friends that truly care for you. I'm so sorry.
Take a moment. Unfortunately, we think that abuse is only physical, but in the reality, the emotional abuse is much harder than the physical one. The damage that happens throughout is very major, and empowering women to be able, as you mentioned, have a roof on top of their heads and have a job and to be independent is huge. So, were you working before, or how did you find your job?
Well, when I first came to the United States, I had a bachelor's in business administration, but I went into registered nursing, and I worked as a nurse for 12 years in the nursing field.
And so as the struggle was happening, you were already working?
So I became a nurse after we got married. So that was just, it was one of the fields that was acceptable.
Did you get any support to go through your studying journey?
No. In fact, I had to hold down 3 different jobs, and I felt extremely capable at that time. But as the years went by, it's like, oh, you don't need to work, you need to stay at home, take care of the kids, and that is, there is, barakah in that. There is a blessing in being able to stay at home and taking care of children, but at the same time, you can't depend, you should never depend on anybody else except yourself. Because, and Allah, of course, but that is a very hard lesson to learn 20 years after a marriage, is ending, basically. So it is, and that is one lesson that I would like to teach, not just my daughter, but all the women out there. It's, yes, we've been put in the role of being mothers and caregivers, but at the same time, you need to learn to be independent, get an education, go out there and have your own girls group, because a lot of my support came from my friends who I wasn't even allowed to have earlier. It was just, it was manipulation, basically. And I mean, my social circle had just been restricted to just me and him and my child. So,
So opening up the circle of friendship, getting to know people sometimes is helpful in finding supports.
absolutely.
Because I know this is one of the major points that women go through. A lot of time, people around us just try to kind of control our environments to
Right.
make us less powerful, I would say.
Right.
And opening up in your emotion, opening up in your allowing new people to come in, that sometimes help a lot and support us in so many ways.
Right.
I know a lot of women is afraid to be vulnerable, I would say.
Right.
But don't. I mean, sometimes sharing what you're going through would help you.
My biggest mistake was thinking he was the only support I needed. And Sabil actually, when I was introduced to this organization, made me realize that no, you need to go out there. You need to. I'm 100 times more confident than I ever was before. I mean, I try my best to see the good in people and the good in things, but quite honestly, I mean, there are so many powerful women in this organization that are role models for me. You know, that made me think that yes, I can do this and I can do more. You know, and so let me find how can I do more. So Sabil was like a stepping stone for me, and I recognize that 100% because without them, I would not be where I am today. I would not. I mean, when your need is a roof over your head, you can't think about a job. You just. I mean, you know, if you want clothes because you're cold, if you're hungry, your brain just doesn't function the same way.
Absolutely. Unless you have life necessity, you cannot grow and think of opportunities and dreams and studying. For all those women who are out there right now struggling, they know they're being emotionally abused, if not physically abused. They say, I don't speak the language, I don't have a job, and there is nothing I can do, so I'll accept it. What would be your message to them?
Domestic violence strives in silence. Do not be silent. Speak out. If you don't feel like speaking to people because you're worried that you'll be ostracized, call 211. They're an amazing resource. Call the domestic violence hotline and tell them about your situation, and they'll be able to guide you and explain to you what your rights are. And there are jobs. There are so many jobs. It might not be the perfect job, but it'll get you to the perfect job. I've done everything under the sun. I've driven people like a private Uber. I have delivered food. I have done caregiving. You name it. And now I have reached a point in my life where I actually have a 9-to-5 job. But that happened because people started knowing me, recognizing me, trusting me. So the more you are visible to others, the more they will be willing to help you. So do not be silent. That is the worst mistake you can make.
Usually I like to close the interviews, but without you being here with all of your beautiful words, I have nothing else to say. Empowering women is one of Sabil's missions, and not, I know also men are struggling, dads are struggling, reaching out for help is always, our doors are always open. But what I want to really say for all those women is, you can do something. I really feel sad for those women who are being physically or emotionally abused and they accept it. Do not accept it. I'm sorry to be very straightforward. If you accept it, you deserve it. There are resources out there. Sabil doors are open out there, and we're all of us are here to support you. You are in a country where you can seek support and resources. Thank you so much, Abeer, for being here. Thank you, Sabil, for supporting all those women and families and kids. And for all those people who are following us speaks Arabic, I'm gonna just tell the story really quickly in Arabic. عبير ولدت بالهند، انتقلت من الهند للإمارات وبعدين اجت على أمريكا، تزوجت وكان عندها أطفال. نوعا ما رح نحكي عن الأذى اللي بيصير للصبايا أو للبنات وقت بيتزوجوا من طرف أزواجهم كأذى جسدي. مو دائما الأذى بيكون جسدي ومو دائما بيكون ضرب، أحيانا كثير الأذى بيكون أذى عاطفي، أحيانا كثير الأذى بيكون إنه الرجال بيقلل من قيمة المرأة، ما بيحسسها بقيمتها، ما بيحسسها بمكانتها، حتى اجتماعيا بيحصر العالم اللي هي ممكن ترافقهم أو إنها تقدر تتعامل معهم، لأنه هو جزء من الكنترول اللي بيفرضوا عليها. عبير من الصبايا اللي قررت إنها ما تقبل بهذا الشيء، بعد فترة طويلة درست واشتغلت وطلبت المساعدة. من أهم الأشياء إنه هي ما استحت ولا خافت ولا ترددت إنها تطلب المساعدة. واحد من الجمعيات اللي ساعدتها هي جمعية سبيل، وقفوا معها ساعدوها بكل شيء هي محتاجته من أكل، من شرب، من سكن، لحتى قدرت تلاقي شغل وترجع توقف على رجليها، والأهم من هيك إنها ترجع تقدر تبني ثقتها بنفسها مرة ثانية. بتمنى كل وحدة عم بتشوف هذا الفيديو تعرف إنه كل السبب اللي عم نعمل هالفيديوهات لحتى نقول لك فيكي، لا تضلك قاعدة لحالك، لا تضلك عم تبكي بصمت، احكي، لا تسكتي، لأنه فيكي تغيري الواقع تبعك. بتمنى يعني حظ هيك وتوفيق لكل الصبايا الموجودين وعم يسمعونا اليوم، ولكل العائلات اللي عم بتعاني حاليا، لأنه المعاناة هي دائما فترة زمنية معينة وبتمضى، وإن شاء الله دائما المستقبل بيكون أحلى. Thank you so much, Abeer, for being with me here. Thank you for Sabil for hosting us today. It's my pleasure. Do you want to do a closing statement? Any advice you want to share?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So there is baraka in haraka. Don't stay stationary. Do something. Whether it is helping yourself or helping someone else. You need to cross that sirat. So make it happen.
Thank you so much, Abeer. Thank you.